Hello everybody and welcome to 7th grade social studies. My name is Mr. Farley and I am really glad you're here tonight. You've probably been asking yourselves all day long, what will I be doing in 7th grade social studies this year? Tell the truth, I know you were. Well, that's a great question. And it's a question I'm glad you asked. And yes, that's me. Things will start off this week with each student getting a passcode to create a Schoology account that will basically allow assignments and messages to be posted in a safe and secure online form that students can access anywhere at school, at home, or wherever you have an internet connection. I will be sending notes home to moms and dads to create to give them access as well to Schoology, which is basically going to be an online classroom where I will post assignments, I will post messages to each period that I teach, and it'll be a great opportunity for kids to kind of stay in touch with class, both in the building and out of the building at home as well. So be on the lookout this week for information on the Schoology account, which is an improvement over last year. Last year I used a system called Edmodo, and this year we've replaced it with Schoology, which is much more robust and a much better software. So be on the lookout for information this week on Schoology. Each marking period this year will focus on a specific topic in American history. For example, the first marking period we will learn about the colonial era and discuss what life was like in the 13 colonies and the events that would lead up to the American Revolution. That will take us through the first 10 weeks of school. The second 10 weeks, or the second marking period, will focus on the Revolutionary War and the United States Constitution, the Constitutional Conventions, and the struggle that the 13 colonies had in obtaining independence. New this year in this unit, we're going to spend some time discussing and hopefully visiting the Bennington Battlefield, which is a hidden gem right in our own backyards. I did some curriculum work over the summer on the battlefield, and we're real excited to be rolling it out to both our 4th grade students, our 7th grade students this year, and to 11th graders. The third marking period will center on American expansion westward across the continent, and we will discuss a number of interesting topics. We'll look at the Lewis and Clark adventure. We will look at the idea of manifest destiny. We'll talk about the gold rush. We'll talk about and discuss in detail the effect that Native Americans, the effect that westward expansion had on Native Americans, and all that will occur in the third marking period after midterms in January. And the fourth marking period, 7th graders will address slavery and the American Civil War, and we will look at the institution of slavery and life in the North and life in the South, and try to paint a picture for 7th graders of what life in each section of the country was like as we lead up to discussing the American Civil War. These images that you're looking at here are important. This is an image of an American slave, obviously, who had attempted to escape numerous times. This image in the center is an image of a cotton gin, which was an invention in the early part of the 19th century, which resulted in a boom in the number of slaves required to work plantations in the South. And this final image over here on your right is an image of the battlefield dead at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Later in the school year, toward the end of the fourth marking period, we will be taking, once again, the 7th graders on a field trip, a 3-day and 2-night field trip to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, to see the sights and to learn about the battle in depth. Along the way, we'll each be working with a Chromebook computer this year. Each student will be assigned a Chromebook probably Monday of next week in school. And this will be the students to use in the building for the duration of the school year. This will allow us to work on projects, to access Schoology accounts, to work on Animoto videos, which we'll be talking about this week also. So this is a great opportunity for students this year. Each 7th grader will be given a Chromebook to work on. And last year when we rolled this program out, it was really exciting, and the kids really seemed to take to it. So I'm looking forward to continuing that this year with this year's 7th grade class. Also this year, we'll be reading and discussing in depth 2 books that are new to my curriculum this year. The first book is a work of historical fiction called Rush Revere and the Brave Pilgrims. We're going to be starting that first week of school, so when they come to class on Thursday, they most likely will be getting a copy of Rush Revere and the Brave Pilgrims. Each week also there will be a quiz on a particular reading assignment from this historical fiction story, and that probably will be Fridays. I'll give the students more details when they get to school on Thursday, but count on a quiz each week during the first marking period on Rush Revere and the Brave Pilgrims. The second book we'll be doing this, the second marking period, is the autobiography of Frederick Douglass, called The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. There's an image of Frederick here. Douglass was an escaped slave and a very, very integral American abolitionist who helped spread the word about the horrors of slavery, and we'll be spending the second marking period reading The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Yes, each student will have opportunities to earn extra credit with my Twilight Zone Club, which meets 2 Fridays a month after school. This is a great opportunity for a new generation of students to get exposed to Twilight Zones. I know a lot of moms and dads grew up with Rod Serling and the Twilight Zone, but we get to show a couple of episodes each Friday after school, and 7th grade students that attend get extra credit for just watching the episodes and then having a little discussion about what they viewed afterwards. And that has grown from a couple of students when I first started the club 7 years ago, and we typically have a full classroom of 7th graders for the Twilight Zones on Friday. Kids really look forward to it. So as you can see, we got a very busy and productive year in store for all of you. On the way out tonight, make sure each of you take a course outline, and I want to thank students and moms and dads very much for coming this evening. My contact information you can view at the bottom of the slide here. I'm at 686-7321, extension 2227, and my email address is also there. You can contact me anytime at farleyc@hoosickfallscst.org. Looking forward to working with you and your child this year, and again, thank you for coming tonight.